topic is going to be really interesting. So, it's the heart of digital marketing and business success. Content conquers all, from creation to conversion in the diverse landscape of changing technology. In today's fast evolving digital world, creating compelling content that not only engages but also converts is more crucial than ever. So today, we are privileged to have with us a distinguished panel of experts who brings us a wealth of knowledge and experience to this discussion. So ladies and gentlemen, we are about to have 5 panelists joining us very shortly, and we also have our session chair. So please put your hands together in welcoming Mr. Kiruba Shankar, a renowned digital entrepreneur. Welcome, sir. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be such an enlightening discussion on the power of content in the digital age. So now, it's time to welcome our panelists. So put your hands together in welcoming Chief Marketing Officer at Narayana Health, Mr. Ashish Bajaj. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, with utmost pleasure, I would like to welcome Kavitha Ganesan, Head of Brand Marketing, TBS Eurogrip. Welcome. Put your hands together, can we? So now, we would like to welcome VP Marketing of Heritage Foods, Mr. Puneet Kusumbia. Welcome. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, up next we have co-founder and CEO of Truly Madly. Give it up for Mr. Snehil Khanor. So yes, last but not the least, I would like to welcome Manika Mittal, who is the General Manager of Marcom and PR True Balance. A hearty welcome to you, ma'am. And I also noticed the kind of massage you got. Yeah? Okay, all right. So yes, we have a whole lot of intellectual people here. So without any more ado, over to the session. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. So we got 45 minutes, and let's turn on the clock. That'll be wonderful. So welcome back. There's a reason why this is called the graveyard session, right? And I have to tell you that we have really an amazing panelists out there, and every one of them are going to be dipping into their own personal experiences and going to be sharing their journey in using content. And content for business, content for engagement, and content for success. So I'm going to kickstart, and I'm going to start with Manika. If we can go around the thing, give us a little background about you, and also give us an insight. First, we'll introduce ourselves, but speak from a content perspective. So that's what we're going to be doing. Over to you, Manika.
Vanakkam, Chennai. This is a girl from Delhi speaking. So yeah, thank you.
You're primed for elections, I can tell you that. Yeah.
No, it's all about content and speaking to your audience, right? So yeah, I'm talking to my audience. So yeah, this is Manika. I'm heading marketing, public relations, and content for a fintech, which is into digital lending and payments called True Balance, which is a parent, which is an app, and the parent company is Balance Hero India. It's a Korean company, right? What we are doing with at True Balance is we are solving the financial issues for the last mile. So the product is for Bharat, and by the virtue of it, we are covering at least 85% of PIN codes in India, which is obviously the depth of the country we are covering. So as a public relations and content and communications lead at the company, my job is to make sure that I'm speaking to Bharat and I'm speaking in the language they understand. And it's all digital, right? It's pure play digital. There's no phygital involved. So everything, because it's a startup, it's a fintech, everything is being measured to the core. So everything, what we do, what we write, what we circulate, has to have a metric and ROI around it. So yeah, keeping all the metrics, all the ROIs, all the decision making in mind, we make content only for the audience. So which is why understanding the audience is the first key step for any business and for any content marketer. And that's the same for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Manika. Thank you. And hats off to Manika for helping support this event. So I appreciate your support here and helping us on. And Manika is also doing her executive MBA at ISB while holding a full-time job. Hats off to you. Yeah. Snehil?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I am Snehil Khanor. I am co-founder and CEO of Truly Madly. We are a serious dating app to help you start your love story. And
Exactly the prime audience here, no?
yeah, anybody who wants to, start their own love story. What happened? What a blast.
What a blast.
Right?
Yeah.
So welcome. In fact, you can later ask me for some God mode also, so I can enable the God mode for you to get more matches. Yeah, of course.
That's possible.
Right? Of course.
That's possible.
But not for you, you are married. So we don't allow married folks. And interestingly, now we see more than 50% of our users and 45% of our revenue coming from tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So Leh Ladakh, Andaman Nicobar, Lakshadweep, Guwahati, we don't just have users, we have paying users from all of these places, right? So that's what the idea is. It's a revolution of, and the primary thing that we, via content that we solve, because you said to keep it in the terms of content. One funny, interesting thing is that dating has been a taboo in India. Meanwhile, love marriages has been aspirational since forever, right? So somebody will have to come and tell that there is no way to do a love marriage without dating, right? So that's what we try and educate people from using our content strategies. And idea is to break the stigma around dating and make it more mainstream.
Interesting. When I first heard of Truly Madly, what do we think? We think of Tinder and we think these are teeny boppers, college students who come and do that. But it's only 27 years and above.
Yeah.
And that's serious dating, people who eventually want to graduate onto marriage.
Yeah.
So kudos to you. Yeah.
So when
I
people
got married
graduate,
at 25. I wouldn't have got entered into it then.
you got married at?
25.
Yeah. But then see,
Lower your...
But when 10 years ago, marriage age was 25, right? If I go 10 years back, 2014, 2015, all my cousins were getting married at 24, 25, right? And now we are seeing that there is no right age to marriage, and new generations have successfully pushed it beyond 30, 32. Today, if we ask somebody when do you want to get married, they say 30, 32.
Very nicely he said that I'm getting old.
Thanks, Snehil. Appreciate it. Yes. Puneet, over to you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I am Puneet from Heritage Foods Limited. It's a Hyderabad-based company. Some of you in Chennai might be actually users of Heritage Foods.
Yes.
Because yeah, I mean, we are very popular in curd especially, and there are a lot of other full dairy products that we have. Off late, we are in the news for some right reasons. Stock market has been really kind to us. So that's the bit of where I work currently. In terms of content itself, the way we think of content, or the way I look at content is, first of all, as a content creator, what is this term about content, right? So content is as opposed to advertising, right? And when we talk about content is fundamentally, you have to think like a publisher. You can't think like an advertiser, because the difference between advertising and content is fundamentally, I'm not saying what I want to say, but I'm saying what you want to hear, right? So that's where the fundamental principle of content, and that's what we work with always in mind. So 50% of our spend is on advertising, but almost 50% now goes behind content. And the way we do content is driven by moments. So as a category, dairy is a category which you use right since 6 o'clock in the morning till say 12 o'clock, right? You might sleep, get up on a cup of coffee or tea, but you might sleep with a dessert in the end, or haldi doodh, for example. So throughout the day, there are many moments of consumption which happen, and therefore we as a company try and tap into those occasions and moments, special moments, special occasions, festivals, Valentine's Day for ice cream. So we have got each and every moment tapped very, very clearly through clever content. And that's what we try to do actually from our point.
Very interesting. We'll dig more into that as we go by. Kavitha, over to you.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Kavitha Ganesan, I head brand marketing for TVS Eurogrip tires. So overall, I have over 18 years of experience in FMCG, paints, holiday industry, and now tires. But the one thing that's struck common across all industries has been the need to create, clutter-breaking content. Because I think today, every category, every industry has too much of competition, and the content clutter is far too high. I mean, you can just take your own lives. You switch on Netflix. Me and my husband spend more time deciding what to watch than actually watching something. So that's how life is today. And I don't need to, there's a bunch of marketers here. I don't need to tell you about how many TV channels we have, how many radio channels we have, so on and so forth. There is content clutter everywhere. If you take a certain platform, even within that, today, for instance, YouTube, apparently, every day 3.7 million videos are uploaded. That's the kind of world we live in. So as a marketer, it's so much more challenging to kind of break the clutter and, create content that is more purpose-driven for your brand. And more so for the tire industry, because here it's a very low involvement category. And you don't know when your consumer is going to need a tire. So you need to be top of mind through the year for your consumer. And we have competition that has deep pockets. So there is a lot of need to innovate with limited budgets. So that's my perspective on content.
Innovate with limited budgets is going to be the underlying theme of our discussion going forward, because I think it'll matter a lot. Yes, over to you, Ashish.
Shankar, I think everything has been already covered. The only thing then left is going personal. So I'm engineer by my graduation, always the number-driven guy. Getting into a job after MBA where the creativity was the P0. If you are entering into the marketing field, I learned the hard way. I got so much rogered by my managers that you're not thinking through. You're still doing the same shitty job. But yes, that's how I learned it. You need to find that bone into you.
There you go. So Ashish has covered the gamut. Ashish played a very critical role in the growth of Ola Cabs. He was in charge of media buying and significant roles, and now in healthcare, which is very, very different. And that's what I really love about folks sitting on the desk. So when we've had this pre-panel discussions over lunch, we wanted to touch upon each one of your most successful content play. So explain what strategy that is, but more importantly, not only as what's really worked for you, but what lessons can each one of us take and apply it in our own individual business. So for the benefit of the panelists out here, how many of us are startup entrepreneurs? Raise your hands if you're one, right? Like nicely. Okay, great, nice. Thank you. How many of us are in marketing? So it could be digital marketing, it could be just marketing per se. That's great, thank you. How many of us are into sales? Okay. So it pretty much covers most of the gamut of things, which is a beautiful, lovely spread of people out there. So this is going to set the context very nicely. And Manika, I'm going to start with you. You could touch upon True Balance, or you could touch upon your previous companies as well. Tell us one most significant marketing activity using content, and how has it benefited you? What can we learn from it?
So, I can give you two examples here, Kiruba. So, one from my time when I was heading a luxury brand. I was doing public relations. I was a lead for a luxury brand.
Do you want to name the brand?
It's let it be. It just maybe not many folks, because
don't
it's a very
worry,
niche
you'll never
brand.
go back and work in that brand. It's fine. Yeah.
No, it's a very so basically, they are the miners. They mine gemstones and they hold mines in Mozambique. So yeah. So
now she's playing 20 questions. We'll figure it out. Yeah.
So not many players are in this field, right? So yeah, they are the biggest miners for rubies and emeralds in the world. Sorry.
You should be knowing.
We'll Google it, I said. We should be knowing it.
Yeah. So the biggest challenge is the obsession for diamonds, right? And that the obsession has been created by some experts like what we have here, right? The diamonds are not that rare and that precious, what they claim, because that's a strategy they have played, and it had worked very well over the years. So so this client had a concern that obviously no client has a budget, right? The budgets are always steep for everyone. So the challenge was obviously it's the real stones we are talking about. How to make sure the people, the brides, because that's when the Indians really spend a lot, right? Weddings are the time when Indians really spend. So, and the fascination is just not about gold, right? There are stones, there are other kind of jewelry, which is what the shift they want to create in the market. They're just not gold, but what are the other options even the brides have? Because everybody wants to look beautiful, everything has to be matched up. So that kind of aspiration they wanted to create, that was a thought. So what we did, it was a 7-month long campaign that we conceptualized. We shortlisted 8 big time jewelers. One of them, I saw the ad at the airport, the Kalyan jewelers, right? So from each of the big states, we selected 8 big jewelers of the country. We gave them themes and we asked them to create pieces which later we auctioned at Christie's. Okay, and these pieces were obviously anyone can be the muse for that piece, but these jewelers, suppose I got someone, say Kalyan got a theme around summer, or maybe the dance of the winter, or anything, right? So they created a piece keeping that theme in mind. They created keeping some muse in mind, and later we shortlisted, say after these pieces were created, we gave it exclusive to one of the magazines, which is an international magazine, and they had rights, and they published it with models who wore only the piece and did a photo shoot. So that was again using the pieces and getting a PR coverage. The content is going viral through the paid format. But these pieces were created, and then we did a shoot with real life brides. And later on, these pieces were auctioned at Christie's, and the whatever money we raised, it went to a charity. So that's how, if you have a thought in mind, you know exactly what you want to do. You can create a lot of buckets and a lot of avenues where you can circulate the same content and same thought and serve various audiences. So it really helped the brand gain some perspective and some win over in the market. And second one, obviously this is a very long campaign, what I talked about.
So before we go on to the second one, Manika, sorry to cut you short. What were the key insights that we can learn from it?
Okay, so see, every time it's just not about when we think about advertising, or when we don't think about jewelry or anything. Suppose in this case, jewelry is a precious thing, right? So it's always we think about a celebrity, right? This is how the brands would work. Hire a celebrity, make her or him wear a piece, and let them walk, say, Cannes or anywhere, right? And rest all, obviously, media will follow, and the pictures will get circulated. Here, it was a very low-cost investment, and then everyone who was involved did it with their heart, because there is something for each one of them.
Correct. So,
right?
So
for the
company,
retailers,
the diamond company actually crowdsourced the designs from the 8 top jewelers.
Yeah.
And they were feeling really proud that
they had created something unique.
Unique, and it's going to be auctioned at Christie's, which gives it immediately an international
So they all did their own, because it's a very prestigious moment for them that they're creating something unique, and of course it will be auctioned eventually at Christie's. And there's a theme. So yeah, so a lot of parameters and lot of buckets we cater to just with one thought. What I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Beautiful. And I can imagine the brides that got to wear this is also a matter of pride that money can't buy. They're wearing something very unique, right?
So the expressions, the feeling, the connect, the empathy, everything was just in place, just striking the right chords. So they're not the models, they're real life brides. So it's not about how beautiful you look, it's all about how precious the moment for me is. So that way, Kiruba, what I'm trying to say is, when you have a right thought in mind and you can use the imagination and the power of content, you can actually fulfill and cater to many business challenges which a brand can not fulfill even with a lot of marketing budgets.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for that, Manika. I know you had a second point. We'll come back to that.
Sure.
Yeah. Snehil, you'll have some amazing kick-ass real-life instances. So name one of them, your favorite.
Yeah, so in 2021, we started our influencer marketing campaign, and the object, as I told you, right, I took over the company in 2019, And before that, there
So
was...
when he said I took over the company, very interesting thing. So Snehil was one of the first employees at Truly Madly when it was founded in 2014. And very rarely do we hear of an instance of an employee coming over and then buying and taking over the company. So kudos to you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I had my own journey in between. I had a startup, sold, and blah, blah, blah. Did a job also for 1 year in between. So, and the objective we were trying to solve was that a lot of people, because there was zero marketing spent, was spent on TM for, I think, previous 3 years. And people used to think, if the brand is still there or not. So our objective was that, we have to put it back on the map. And just while we were planning this, we were having a word with the agency, and I randomly said, best outcome would be that everybody starts writing in the comment that, every video is Truly Madly's nowadays, right? And that was just a wishful thinking. We didn't even have that kind of a budget to, go and get that. But I knew that what we'll do is, and it was a 3-month campaign. Every week, we will launch 2-3 videos with influencers, right? And it was a mix. So one thing I think what a lot of people do mistake and should be learned here is not all content creators are influencers, right? There is 80% are entertainers, right? They create content, make you laugh, but they don't really influence you.
That's interesting.
Right? So they are just creating content. They are entertainers, not influencers. Then 20% are influencers.
So your definition of an influencer is someone who will push you towards signing
not push,
up or
because
buying.
you have so much, that person has so much brand equity that if he's associating himself with that brand or using that brand or recommending that brand, then the fans will be like, we trust
Beautiful.
this person, so we'll try, right?
Yeah.
So that is influence, and rest 80% of influencer marketing does not even have an influencer. That is the problem with the industry, right? Because everybody has been masquerading as an influencer while being an entertainer, right? So we were very clear that, okay, for entertainer, because they have distribution, this is the cost per view I am okay. And these people do not really work on cost per view, right? So what we would do, okay, this is this much this person is charging. Last 5 videos, these were the average views, right? So we'll come out with our own estimated CPV and then compare it later that what is that we had thought and what did actually happen, right? With this we started, and our target was that it should be less than 20 paisa CPV, because
just for the interest of CPV is how do you
cost per view. Like
okay.
for example, if I am paying somebody 1 lakh rupees, how many views that particular reel or YouTube video is getting, right? And we did with Tanmay Bhatt, we did with a lot of, today we know a lot of influencers which were not existing. In fact, I personally taught TDS and GST to a lot of people. Ki kyun TDS, we are cutting TDS, and because we were their first brand deal, right? And then what we would do is that, okay, this is how much you are asking, into 2, into 12, take half right now, half 6 months later, but I am locking you in for next 12 months, right? So the people we locked in for 30,000 rupees per reel, by the end of 12th month, their pricing were 3 lakh rupees per reel, because they, 50-60% of those really blew up.
Got it.
Right? So that's how we kept a very strong eye on what is my CPV, how much I am okay giving 50 paisa to an influencer, but to a entertainer, I don't want to give more than 10 paisa, 8 paisa. Right? So that really helped us, and then what we had actually just joked about actually happened. People started writing in comments, nowadays every video starts with Truly Madly. Truly Madly is becoming the new Mamaearth, because Mamaearth used to do a similar thing. And we were just joking, and it really happened, right? So sometimes having a wildest target also, having just back in the mind also enables you to achieve it.
Yeah. I think thank you for differentiating between entertainers and influencers. I think that was a nice aha moment. Snehil actually believes in the term fugile marketing, which is frugal, being very cost sensitive, and agile, thinking on the feet. So kudos to you on that. Yes, Puneet, what has worked best for you at Heritage Foods?
Right. So, like I was mentioning in the previous, statement as well, we are actually looking at multiple moments and trying to tap into them. But this particular instance that I'm going to narrate to you is actually not a moment. What we were facing as a business, there was a business challenge that we were facing. So we are facing challenge. We are like the #1 milk brand in Hyderabad. And there we face challenges from both the price players and the premium end, right? The premium end is all your, the startup universe. And these guys, the premium universe comes in and they actually chip away our premium consumers who are, more premium buyers for us as well. So we wanted to address that, right? And when we look at all the premium milk brands, they actually come with those minimalistic design and lot of unclaimable claims actually, which no FSSI would allow, but they still make those claims. So we as a company always believed in what our purpose was. And we said, I think this is the time to go back to the purpose that company believes in. And our purpose of empowering the farmers and delighting the consumers. So what we created was to take on some of those competition. We created a product which was premium buffalo milk. Okay. Now, this is not an exciting category, but we created something which was purely, so we went to a region where we could get the minimum fat percentage, which was the creamiest in the country actually. And throughout the year, because cow doesn't give you milk, same variety every day, it changes, or buffalo. So we went to the best sourcing that we have. And from there we picked up the milk, we packed it in, nice packaging. What we did here was the story, and the story was very different. So what we did was we put the farmer on the pack actually. So we selected 3 of our farmer ambassadors, so to say. We actually went to their farms, we shot them, we put their photos on the pack and created stories around them. So we asked them to narrate their story, how they are creating this milk, which is the best milk in the country, So they talk about how they take care of the cows, how they take care of the buffaloes, how they feed them, what they do, for example, when they give birth, and how they allow the baby to drink directly for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So it's real stories, real story of real farmer, which I think all of us at some level, sitting in urban areas, would love to connect to. And we have not heard of those stories. So we created those stories. And for me, the measure of success comes from the fact that some of these stories which were running into 1.5, 2 minutes, the view-through rates were 80%, 85%. So which actually gave us very good confidence that actually it's working. And that rooted into our purpose of empowering the farmer gave us a leg up. And we are very, very happy and proud to say that some of those work that we did won at a national level in the India Digital Summit for both packaging as well as communication. Beautiful. So that just goes to show that, if you do really differentiated work from a content point of view, and if your view-through rates and CPVs are coming to 0.2 or even less than that, you are in a good space. So that was one content which really worked for us. Actually.
Yeah, I can completely believe and totally agree with what you're saying, Puneet, because I'll tell you, I come from a farming background. We also run an organic farm. My parents run a beautiful farm stay. And when guests come, and most of these are city slickers, right? When they come in, they get so infatuated with the country way of living, right? Yeah. Which, grass that the cow is grazing on, and there is that emotional connect. And I think you choosing real life farmers and telling their stories makes that connect.
So we chose brand ambassadors as our farmers who happen to be, we have 3 lakhs of them, and we procure milk from 3 lakh farmers every day. So that's a large number, and if we can represent even 3-4 of them in large stories, it actually helps the entire community. Yeah. So that's what
brilliant. Brilliant. Thank you for that. Kavitha?
Yeah, lovely story that. So ours is again, he called milk non-exciting, so what do I say about tires? So, it's just the round black thing. How many of you in this room remember the brand of tire on your car or bike? Okay, not bad. If I ask bike, it would be even lesser, and we do only 2-wheeler tires. So it's a little challenging because, it's not a product you often think about. Ours is a grudge purchase. Almost 60% of our purchases happen out of force because they have to change their tire. So at that moment, how do you stay relevant to your consumer is the big question in front of us. So obviously we do a lot of ATL and, brand communication through the year because it is important for us to stay in the consumer's consideration set. But we also do stuff which, we believe is cost effective and yes, yet has a ripple effect. For instance, I'm sure most of the marketers in this room would have heard this from their business heads or, their MDs. Viralize the content. How many of you have heard this? It's the most, it's the most
Abused word.
nightmarish line a marketing head or a CMO can ever hear. And
All
I've
the
heard it a
marketers
lot.
agree with you. All the
Yeah.
marketers agree with you.
All the marketers agree with me. Now, my sales colleagues. I'm sure most of you feel, ye kya advertising karte rehte hain? It's not affecting my sales. How many of you feel that way? Yeah, so few hands going up there. People are being nice to us. So yes, we decided in 2022, we got into a partnership with Chennai Super Kings, one of the most coveted IPL franchisees, and we decided to use it a little differently. Of course, we did our ad with Dhoni. That was a must-have. But apart from that, what we decided was that as a brand, why don't we actually create ads for our trade partners, be it our distributors, our retailers, that is a tire shop owners, or the mechanics. All these are influencers in our industry, and we said, why don't we extend this CSK partnership to them? So we used technology in the form of artificial intelligence and machine learning to understand Ravindra Jadeja's facial expressions and gestures and his facial movements. And we used this to create personalized ads for around 30,000 of our trade partners, where Jadeja would say to the viewer, for all your tire needs, go to, let's say, Kiruba tires. Or, the name of the retailer would pop up. And this we sent in a very easy to distribute way through WhatsApp. We obviously have first-party databases of all our trade partners. So we sent it through WhatsApp to all of them, which enabled them to share it with their networks, their family, friends. Most of them are present on social media today, so they share it on Meta. And this, nowhere the brand was really spoken about. There was just very subtle branding in the background. So it gave a lot of positive word of mouth amongst trade on one side and also spread the brand message on the other. So for me, this was one effective use of technology in trying to create, trying to break the content clutter.
Yeah, I think it's a brilliant one. The reason is because in this case, the mechanic or the tire dealer is truly the influencer, right? Because, like you said, buying tires is a grudge purchase. You have a puncture, you need to get it replaced. And that point in time, you're not thinking of what's the best brand I can buy. Eh? You just need a tire. And you almost always go with the suggestion of the mechanic. Sir, idu nalla idu tire sir, idu nalla podunga nalla irukum adu. And you'll say yes, almost. So I think that's a good thing. The second thing what I loved is that because Jadeja's message was customized for that particular tire mechanic, and imagine how awesome the guy feels, right? And almost instinctively you want to then share it with your network on WhatsApp primarily and on social media. I think brilliant one. Awesome. Thank you. Ashish?
So, Shankar, if we see both Puneet and Kavitha's ideas, we're going back to the ones that impact their businesses a lot, like you said, influencers. And it has happened previously as well, but what I've been hearing, it's now becoming the trend. Now becoming the trend in terms of doing inclusive marketing. It's not just about developing your consumers, it's about growing the ecosystem. I think that's why I feel these ideas are just brilliant, out of the world kind of ideas right now. Moving on, coming to where I think we can spend the entire 45 minutes in discussing just the content ideas you guys have done, because so amazing work that you have done. So I'll pick up a very, very recent one for us in terms of conversation. Coming to healthcare, this is my first job in healthcare. I was outsider for a healthcare job, and the only thing that the moment you get into healthcare industry, you'll say that I go to a doctor for a very limited engagement. The minute I'm okay, I'm not worried about the doctor. Correct? The minute I'm okay, I'm not worried about my health again. So our engagement with our own health is very, very short-lived. That's where the importance comes in terms of stop thinking you yourself or as a brand, as a patient. It's a person, it's a consumer. So that's the shift that we are also trying to get into our thinking and us as a brand into the industry. So one of the ideas that we did, we shot 10 episodes, 10 real life cases, emergency cases, where people either having a cardiac arrest while running a marathon, somebody working in a factory got hit by iron bars, some kid got into an accident with a truck. All of these cases, but what we highlighted was about what was the effort of the doctors, what were the right things that the people around or the parents did in terms of managing that emergency, and to top it all, what you, me, should do when a case arises. So we shot those 10 films. I'm very happy to say that it's got more than 100 million views for us on Jio. We launched it during the IPL. We delivered a lot of views during the match times. And we launched it only in the cities that we are present in, as our hospitals. And it has started seeing interactions with us in terms of people calling us for emergencies. We've started seeing our brand searches going up for emergency-related keywords for nearby. We have seen the call center calls increasing for emergency for us. Of course, the organic drop-off. So basically, it happens when an ambulance drops off an emergency case to a hospital. Those on its own are increasing. So that is the kind of impact that where while we were shooting, we were making those 10 episodes ready. We never wanted a brand to be out and out in terms of the entire 10 minutes. If somebody of you get a chance to see, it's called Inside ER, and it's on Jio Cinemas, Jio TV. When you will watch it, we have not even said that it's brought to you by Narayana Health. And even when we are doing, it's not on the face, no logo branding, nothing. It's just pure play content that we emphasized on. And it's doing good for business. If you so say, it's connecting back to it in 2 months' time.
Brilliant. And
It reminds me of what Puneet said, right? I mean, content is not what you want to say, it's what they want to hear.
Yeah.
So you
Absolutely.
don't need to brand explicitly, it just reaches.
Absolutely. And imagine
Branding actually, demotivates.
Counterproductive.
It repels the user. It turns them off. Yeah.
thankfully, I was the one making that decision that the branding is okay. Otherwise, I would have been the one who would have been pitching, wouldn't have got through.
It's easy. I'm so glad to hear that many of you actually spearheading the marketing thing, saying that overt branding is not good. Sometimes it can backfire. But many of the
Depends
bosses...
channel to channel.
I'm sorry?
Depends channel to channel.
Channel to channel. But I think it
For example,
overarchingly it works.
on social media, attention time is so low, right? That average time of any video of a 1 minute video would be say 20 seconds, right? If the brand does not come in within the first 20 seconds, then
You lose it.
First
it-
three-
it's just lost.
first 3 seconds.
Channel to channel.
First 3 seconds.
First 3 seconds is what hooks you, but average viewing time for a 1 minute video is mostly 14-15
Yeah.
seconds.
So we
20
have-
seconds is considered nice.
We have 10 minutes, and I want to make sure that we get, there's anyone who has questions, I think please feel free to raise your hands, and we'll get the questions to you. Can we have microphones floating? We have Varun at that end. And anyone else? We'll make sure that we line up. Okay. So we have one here. And anyone else? Okay, thank you. So we have 3 questions. State your name. Tell us, if I can just request you to just stand up, only so that people can see you. State your name, what you do, and what question, and who is it for.
Hi, my name is Varun. I'm heading digital marketing at Latent View Analytics. I think I met Kavitha before at one of the events. My question is, when we do content marketing, especially in the B2C space where we are working to influencers, how much effort actually goes from the brand side to measure the impact of it? I really liked when Ashish spoke about like call center calls and all of that. For even some of this, you need to think about it much before, right? Like you cannot measure how much is the impact of it post campaign unless you're consistently measuring certain metrics. So if you can give examples of how some of you have been measuring the impact and tying it back to business success with respect to revenue metrics.
Absolutely brilliant question, because at the end of the day, it's the numbers has to speak. Business numbers has to speak, right? So how do we...
So I'll take it. See, you should divide it into 2 things. One is, of course, the latent which ties into business, because you don't know when it's going to end up as a conversion for you. But if your content piece or anything on around the brand or top of mind that you're doing, there are certain cohorts that need to start moving for you. Like I said, brand searches, people at least having conversation about you, bringing into the consideration, or saying that, yes, I know this brand. So these are your immediate, your website views or traffic increases, social followers increases. These are immediate things which, of course, you need to, I'm sure Snehil and everyone, constantly looking at these. But these are the first things that will say, yes, you are hitting the right chord.
Actually, just to add to what Ashish just said, and you asked about D2C specifically. So what happens in D2C is that if you have your own platform, then your measurability is much better. Typically, the way we do it is we don't have our own platform in a big way. So we redirect users to a quick commerce. Dairy is a very strong quick commerce play. So we look at the redirections as one of the metrics, for example, and then we later measure the impact on that particular SKU's growth, sales growth, so that you are able to kind of see the funnel right from top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel. And D2C specifically for Amazon and your own Shopify platforms, it's the best. You can actually track right from the views to page landing to the conversion to sales. So it allows you full flexibility. Oh yes. No one will allow you to spend money without that, actually.
You won't get the approval without showing the ROS, even for your entire year brand spend.
No, the thing is, like, coming from the industry also, I've seen a lot of vanity metrics taking over the actual revenue impact of these campaigns. So I am talking more with respect to revenue impacts in specific.
Some of it is done only for vanity matrices, no? Like your follower growth and stuff. See, for instance, even if people love the influencer content a tire brand puts out, they'll not buy a tire at that stage.
Yeah.
So we measure click-through rates, and obviously if it's a social media follower, influencer on Instagram, we look at the follower increase. So unfortunately, you'll have to look at both sides.
Yeah. One more thing that we do is that whenever we are running any brand campaign, we see the impact on our performance campaigns. Right, because a good brand campaign will always improve your performance campaign metrics. Your CPM will come down, your top of the funnel will become cheaper, right? So that is also one very good measure of a brand campaign.
Yeah, exactly what Snehil mentioned is just about to add, and definitely a hike in organic search. So organic is a very key parameter and metric which will give you an exact understanding if the content is working or not, if the association is working or not.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you, Varun, for the question. Can we go to the gentleman here who was asking? Can we have a microphone passed on? Do you want to stand up, sir, so it'll be easy for him to come to you?
Hi, the question is for Kavitha.
Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Raghu. I'm an insurtech startup. And I relate to Kavitha because my product is only purchased when there is a need. Like, it will be only purchased after 6 years, 7 years, or 10 years. At that point in time, I really want to knock the door of the customer that I am looking for. And what do you suggest my marketing plan should be? Should I be constantly hitting upon the social media saying that this is my product? Or should I always be talking to customers saying that I have a product like this, and are you interested proceeding further?
What is your product, sir?
It's a insurtech health insurance software.
Okay.
Sorry?
Health insurance software.
Health insurance software. So it would be more B2B?
Yes, B2B and B2C, both.
Okay. So I would say, since you're saying initial stage startup, and since the budgets might be constrained right now, I would suggest that you first focus on the B2B side, because you need to build the base first. And there are interesting ways in which you can do it. I think social media has to be the way to go, because it's the most cost-effective way of reaching your target audiences today. Possibly LinkedIn for your B2B side and Meta for your B2C side would be the best mix. What I have seen, a lot of B2B, even some boring B2B SaaS startups, My brother runs one, so I know. What they do is they kind of try to make their content very fun. And, so for instance, my brother's startup has started something called Rocket Lane TV, where it's a very Netflix-style content on demand kind of thing, but it's everything you want to know about customer onboarding and customer success. So whatever your relevant topics to your TG may be, maybe it makes sense to create your own channel and keep putting out the content there. And you don't know, over a period of time, it will definitely build up into something bigger. And for the B2C side, I would say keep it fun, keep it light. Memes are very popular. You can definitely take the humor route. I'm not saying do what Cred did, but take the, take that insight from there on using someone in a very unconventional way. What they did with Rahul Dravid was using him in a very unconventional way. So it doesn't matter if we don't have Rahul Dravid with us for our brand, but whoever we get, use them in an unconventional way.
Beautiful.
Yeah, hi.
Beautiful. We have two clocks. We have two clocks. One is the one out here, and the second one is Manika's daughter, Avia, saying that it's time's up. Right?
Yeah.
Right, Avia?
One
That's
more
good.
small question.
Sorry, just out of respect, there was a person at the back who raised their hand. I'm just so sorry about that. I want to respect, according to this person at the back. Okay, can we get the microphone passed on to the gentleman? And I doubt if there's time available after that. Can we just pass on the mic to the person?
Just a quick question, whether quantity or quality in creation to conversion?
Is it an extension of this question? Okay, then we'll go to the person out there. Yes. So if you're hungry for the question, you have to stand up and make sure you get the microphone. Yeah.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon all. So I am from TVS Next and working in handling India, Geo and APAC sales. So my question would be like, as Snehil talked about, there is a slight difference between real influencers and the entertainers. But how do brands identify? Isn't it very hard, or should brands just directly straight away go to entertainers, then see if they are working out as influencer for them? Because we have seen as an user, Instagram user, because some of the influencers majorly they are into entertainment business only, but various brands do cater to them, reach out to them, and just promoting their brands. Maybe that can turn out to be influencer. So isn't it a big thing for brands to just go away, and how difficult is it to identify the difference between entertainers and the real influencers?
It is not that difficult. For example, you would think the most difficult category would be to distinguish is comedians, because they are all entertainers, right? But a comedian which can sell his or her tickets and can fill the event is an influencer, and those who are only doing it on Instagram are the entertainers, right? Also, just by reading comments of their last 10, 20, 30 posts, you can understand what is, are the people who are commenting, are they really their fans, right? Are there more positive, for example, a girl posting about some, dress from Mantra. Are people in the comments writing? So for a good influencer's comment would be, the girls will be, writing in, Didi bahut achhi lag rahi hai aap pe dress, right? You are looking very good. Where did you buy it from? I really want this dress, right? Versus random stuff, right? Yeah, right. Versus random stuff, which, and another thing, you can see it as a filter. If that thing can go anywhere, for example, a comment could have been at any other post also, then it's a unnecessary comment. If this particular comment can only make sense in this particular video, then the person really saw the video, understood the video, related to the video, had a genuine question or appreciation. That's why he or she commented. Right? So these are a few things I can keep.
Just to add on, so it's comment section is also the interest area for brands.
Of course. For example,
shows the seriousness of it.
For example, when we do any YouTube deal, I have 5 deliverables: intro, outro, integration, description, and pinned comment.
Interesting. That's useful info. Thank you so much for that. Time's up. Kirtana is standing right next to the stage, which means danger. So I first want to apologize to you for not taking the time out to do it, and for others who may have had a question but couldn't get the chance. So I want to appreciate, so ladies and gentlemen, let's give all our panelists a big round of applause. Many of them have flown in from different cities just for this panel, so truly appreciate everyone.